Welcome back, everybody, to the Pittsburgh Pirates franchise here as we begin the playoffs. We are in the final wild card spot for the National League, but before we begin Game 1 against the Arizona Diamondbacks, I do want to recap a little bit on how this year went. Joc Pederson did stay within the top 10 for the National League batting average. He is the 10th man in line there. He finished out the year with a .296 average. Absolutely incredible. For home runs, Oneil Cruz was the number 3 home run masher. He finished out the year with 35 home runs. He got some really good development in power versus righties, a +6. Now, the contact numbers did come down, but the good news is that they're still very high up there. The vision, discipline, and clutch also improved. His arm went down, and the speed dropped a point as well. But overall, Oneil Cruz got some really good offensive development. And in fact, 35 home runs is far and away his absolute best power year. He finished out with a .249 average, a .328 OBP, and a .504 slugging percentage. It was the best power year that Oneil Cruz has ever had. Now, the trade-off here is that, as we've spoken about, the errors have piled up. Now, it's not as bad as the 24 season where he had 26 errors out in the field. He had 15 this year to the tune of a .97 fielding percentage, and he was still good for a 4.7 WAR. So it's still overall definitely a net benefit to keep Oneil Cruz, and especially if he can be a 30-plus home run hitter every year. For RBIs, the top 2 team leaders would be Oneil Cruz with 86, and then Bryan Reynolds tied for the 29th spot in the National League at 84. 2 prime offensive contributors, and they're nearly back-to-back there for RBIs. After them, it is Jack Sawinski at 35. He's got 81 RBIs, and then Joc Pederson tied for 36th in the National League with 80 RBIs. What an addition he was. Bryan Reynolds is in the top 10 in the National League. He is ranked 8th for runs at 96. Oneil Cruz was good for the top 20 placement for stolen bases. He ended up with only 22 of them, though, which is a lot lower than I would have liked. Bryan Reynolds was our most disciplined hitter with 73 walks throughout the year. That is tied for 19th with Brandon Marsh and Vladimir Guerrero Jr. Joc Pederson had the highest OBP for us and almost cracked the top 10. He was ranked 12th in the National League with a .377. For slugging percentage, Joc was also 5th behind William Contreras, Ketel Marte, Bryce Harper, and Shohei Ohtani. His slugging was a .551. Incredible. Joc is also number 7 for OPS, that combined stat with OBP and slugging. He ended up at a .928 OPS. We did technically have a pitcher crack the top 10 rankings for wins. It is Shane Baz, and it's a large tie split for the number 10 spot. 14 wins on the year for Baz. Jared Jones is tied for 3rd place. It's another logjam there for that position. For losses throughout the year, he ended up with only 5 of them. Despite some up and downs, David Bednar overall did have a successful run as the closer this year, and he didn't get the full year or season to do that job, but he still managed to rank number 12 for the National League. So good on David Bednar. For the ERA, it is Paul Skeens. No surprise there. He ranked 6th in the National League with a .268 ERA. For home runs allowed, Zach Littell allowed the 2nd least amount of home runs, just behind Shohei Ohtani, only 12 throughout the year. For shutouts in the National League, it is an absolute pile-up here, tying for 2nd place with only 1 shutout. Shota Imanaga, Mitchell Parker, Nick Lodolo, Mitch Keller, Aaron Nola, Roki Sasaki, and then Paul Skeens is our Pirates standout there. For strikeouts, it's also Paul Skeens. Again, no surprise. He ended the year with 216, but still well away from Spencer Strider, who is the leader with 257. Paul Skeens is also the only Pirates pitcher to register a complete game this year. He also was in the top 10 for innings pitched, just over 200. Zach Littell is the National League leader as far as walks allowed goes. He only walked 28 batters this year, and that is the best out of the National League. Paul Skeens is the best pitcher by whip metrics with a 0.92. That's awesome. And for pitching WAR, Paul Skeens does again crack the top 10. He is the 9th highest WAR pitcher with a 4.2. For batting WAR, it is O'Neal Cruz at number 18, a 4.7 WAR. Still a very, very good year for him. For the awards this year in the National League, Steve Seidlinker was the 3rd highest ranked Rookie of the Year candidate. He ended up averaging .233 with 19 home runs and 64 RBIs. It was a solid rookie season for him, and the expectations were pretty much met. I think that if I could go back and find the footage, I probably would have said like a .240 average would be something that I'd be very happy with, and he was very close. A .233 average. I want to take up just a brief moment in time to take a look at his card, and yeah, he got some awesome development. The only real attribute that I was concerned about that came down was contact versus lefties, because as a righty bat, he should have a natural advantage there. But the power has gone up by 4 against lefties, so that's pretty nice. His discipline going up by 5 is a huge boost, and he's gotten a little more clutch as well. The fielding, and we saw plenty of moments where Seidlinker actually was brilliant in the field. I think he was overperforming there because his fielding rating is still only a 61 after going up by 2 points. Now, his reaction is great already. As a 20-year-old, it's a 75. That's really good. The accuracy and arm are also improving, but overall, Steve Seidlinker, I think, had a great year. So, .233 average, .301 OBP, and a .419 slug. 19 home runs, 25 doubles, over 100 hits through 454 at-bats. He played for 122 games in the regular season. I mean, Seidlinker did a really good job. I'm very, very happy with what he was able to do. I'd love to see him steal some more bases, but he just doesn't have the speed or skill to do that, really. So he was caught stealing 3 times and only stole 2 bases, but still, I'd like to see the walks come up, the strikeouts come down a little bit, but even at 88 strikeouts, over 454 at-bats, that's not a bad rating. Let me see if I can find that actual number here. He was good for a 0.5 WAR, and yeah, 17% strikeout rate, I think, is actually even below league average. So I am happy with that. I just want to see the walks come up a little bit, obviously that average, and maybe just a little bit more power. Jared Jones gets the nod for a Gold Glove for pitching. That is really cool. For the Silver Slugger in the outfield, Kyle Tucker takes it, but not by very much. He did score a lot more RBIs, and that average is 22 points higher than Brian Reynolds, but they're tied up at 33 RBIs, so for Reynolds to pretty much go toe-to-toe with Tucker, I think is a huge success. And the home runs are the difference for him here to give him the edge over James Wood in 3rd place, who only had 26 home runs, but he did have 10 more RBIs, and the average was 24 points higher. So Brian Reynolds had a lot going for him, and it's another great year. All right, so without further ado, we are going to get into Game 1 of the wild card race. It is Paul Skeens versus Corbin Burnes and the Arizona Diamondbacks. All right, everybody, it is the wild card, Game 1 here in a 3-game set versus the Diamondbacks, somebody that we are very familiar with. We've seen a lot of these players, and it's time to really set the tone here. We are playing in Arizona to begin, and hopefully we can take the first 2 games, make this easy, and get a little bit more rest before the next matchup. But we can't look too far forward without handling business right now. Chase Field, the home of the Diamondbacks. We'll see some postseason baseball. It's not October yet, but the postseason has arrived, and while every other team who hasn't made it now can enjoy their rest, we still have some work to do. And I think that we've got the team now that gives me more confidence in this postseason than it did in the previous one, where we actually challenged for the World Series. So it's going to be very interesting to see how we stack up. I feel like we strengthened some core areas of this team. I do feel like overall the pitching did get better. I think we had more reliable starters. I think we had several key relievers, although that's probably overall weaker than last year. The offense has been upgraded, and the performance by some guys like Jock Peterson especially has really, really given me a lot of hope for this postseason. So strap in, get comfortable, and let's begin game one. Corbin Burnes takes the mound. He went 11-12 over 32 games. Almost got to 200 innings pitched, with a 3.29 ERA and a 1.02 WHIP. He's very good, and that's what we expect out of Corbin Burnes. We begin with Luis Arraez leading off, and a 232 average is, I think, the lowest career average that he's ever had. So I think that we need to make a tough decision on Luis Arraez in the offseason and what we're going to do with him, because he has just nosedived since coming to Pittsburgh. But anyways, let's get back to the at-bat here. Corbin Burnes throws 5 different pitches. We're very used to this guy, and he is challenging, but I know at least what to expect. And we'll watch that one under the zone. It's called as a strike, though. Yeah, it's been a long time since Luis Arraez has seen a batting title, and he's not going to see one here in Pittsburgh. And swing at that one. The curveball just disappears under the zone. Arraez even checks the bat to see if there's an issue there, but nope. Burnes just has a wicked curveball. All right, that one was hit just late, and it goes to shortstop. That's a routine out to begin our postseason. Next up is Brian Reynolds, switch hitter, batting in the second spot today. And that's a broken bat. It's a pop-up, and it is caught over in foul territory just beyond third base. That's really, really a bad luck thing right there. Jock Peterson's going to follow up, batting cleanup. He's in the third spot today. Love to see that flash of power to begin this game and give us an exciting start. And that one is hit well. It's going to go deep into right center field, going back, and yes, it is gone! Are you kidding me? We called for it, and Jock says, here you go! Wow, what a way to open this game. A Jock Peterson home run. It's like we drew up the plans, and they executed it perfectly. Peterson powers one out to right center field, 415 feet, and we've got an early lead. Let's go! All right, and now a little bit less power, but no less dangerous. Jack Sawinski at the plate. And that one comes inside, high and tight, that cutter. The primary pitch for Corbin Burnes, and it's a good one. We're down 0-1 now. And that one is just fouled away, down 0-2 as the snake begins to coil. Burnes trying to get out of this inning without any more damage. And that one is a take under the zone.
1 ball, 2 strikes.
1-2 now. I think the pitch count focus that I usually have, I'm going to try to dial back just a little bit. I know that that theory is sound, but I think that we need to really jump on the better pitches that we can. And that one is under the zone. That curveball just loses it in the dirt. Count evens at 2-2. I'd also love a little bit of feedback. And that's a swing and a miss. Circle change gets us on the bottom part of the zone. But anyways, I'd like some feedback, you guys, on how you think the year went overall. If you have any votes as to who the MVP of the team is. If you want to pick like a pitcher and a hitter, you know, offensively, defensively, whatever. Anything that you guys have as far as feedback would be cool for me. And I think after the postseason, I'll probably provide an answer to those questions as well, to who I think is the team MVP and who is the best pitcher, who is the best offensive guy. But for now, let's get back to business. Paul Skeens versus Christian Yelich. We barely miss on that sinker to begin. Yelich showing some discipline. Let's try going inside with the fastball here. He'll watch that one. 100 miles an hour. All right, I think I'm going to try a slider, lower outside edge. Try something a little different. And that one is grounded. Triolo on the dive, can't get there. And Yelich will get on first to begin the game for the Diamondbacks as they try to answer back against that Jock Peterson solo shot. Perdomo now stepping to the plate. We'll try to go low and in. That just goes outside, but it's still a strike as he watches it. A 274 average, but only 9 home runs. He's not that guy. So hopefully we don't see any power here. Sinker misses, low and inside. Let's try going high and tight. And that's a good one. Fouled away by Perdomo. 1-2 now. Let's try to give him a curveball on the outside. And discipline again from the Diamondbacks as he does not go around. What about a fastball high and away? It's a good one. Perdomo stays alive. All right, sinker on the outside. Just goes up, and that's lifted high to left field for Brian Reynolds. No need to try to do that lead in as the runner will just tag, and we've got our first out. All right, and here we go. Vladimir Guerrero Jr. at the plate now. We're notified of a possible steal attempt. I'm going to aim low and outside. Vladdy fouls that one away as it catches more of the plate than I had aimed for. Let's try that sinker inside. Vladdy goes to Cruz. We're going to try to turn two. Triolo back to first, and we've got it. A nice double play to end the inning. Good start for Skeens. All right, back to the offense now, and Oneil Cruz is going to step to the plate. The highest amount of home runs he's ever had in a year. It'd be nice to see more of those here in the postseason. And we take that one into left field and foul territory. Oneil Cruz, despite the defensive questions, or rather the unwanted answers that he's given us, I still think that there's a long future here for Oneil Cruz. I really, really enjoy having his production and speed. Oh, that was a really good one to go after. We even timed it really good. But the circle change is only lifted to shallow center field, and that's out number one. All right, now for our first righty in the lineup, it's Steve Seidlinker against Corbin Burns. And that one is fouled away. The cutter at 96, dead center of the zone. Timing was good, if slightly late on that. And he does just fine against righties. At least his stats would give us that impression. He ranks in the high 60s there for contact and power. With 77 vision, he can usually get a piece of it, but we're down 0-2. And no, we can't get that slider. I felt like the timing was good. We'll get that reveal with the next batter. And timing was even a little bit early on it, but we now move back to the other side of the plate for Evan Carter. And that slider does not catch enough for the umpire to give it to him. That's ball one. Carter with an 809 OPS through the regular season. Swings and misses over the circle change.
1-1.
Early on the timing, but we're at least not very far off. A lot of these that we've been early or late on, probably shouldn't have swung at that. But a lot of these pitches that we're swinging at, the timing has not been very bad. That was probably the worst example there. 1-2 now. Final strike in the second inning, maybe. And it's grounded. Carter stays alive, and he'll get another chance. Only 20 pitches so far for Burns. Like I said, going to try to not focus as much. And that's under the zone. No, we swing and miss over a ball, and Carter cannot outrun it. That'll end the top of the second. Ketel Marte now steps to the plate. We'll try to tie him up in knots high and tight to begin this at-bat. That's a good one. 1-2, in fact, and he just fouls it away. All right, let's try low and inside now. Sticking with the fastball. Yes, swings right over top of it. All right, and now something we haven't thrown yet. I'm going to try a sweeper on the lower outside edge. And that goes into the dirt, and he does not go around on it, okay? Let's go back to the curveball. Try to aim for the same spot. And it's called! Strike three on the outside. Marte arguing it, but that is the first out. All right, Corbin Carroll now. Same game plan to begin. Low and inside. Perfectly placed at 101. Try a curveball outside. Same pitch that we just got strikeout with. Just want to change up the sequence a little bit from time to time. And he watches that one for strike two. Okay, let's try that sinker trailing away 0-2. Under the zone, and Carroll snags a piece of it. Fastball, let's go high and away. I'm not expecting this to actually be a strike. Yeah, Carroll just fouls it away. All right, let's try that slider. I want to see if we can get the lower corner. Oh, that's just dead center of the zone. Arise can't get it, and neither can the diving Triolo. Sawinski's going to play it, but Carroll is now on base. Connor Norby steps up now, and with Carroll on base, you got to expect a steal. 99 steal rating, 98 speed. Let's start with the fastball. We're going to throw it up and away, though. And it just goes up. No steal attempt yet, okay? Let's try a fastball low and inside. There he goes. He's on the way. We throw to second base, and Triolo's not able to get him. Throw is just too late. That's what you really got to expect out of him. It's 1-1 now. We'll try a sinker going inside. That just goes to the top of the zone. It's lifted very high into center field for Evan Carter, whose back is against the wall. He'll catch it, and that will advance the runner over to third. For home just in case, but we've got our second out. And Gurriel Jr. now at the plate. Runner on third with 2 outs. As Arizona is threatening to tie this game up. Try the fastball low and inside. Just goes inside and it misses. All right, what about the fastball low and away? Just goes low, center of the zone. All right, big time sweeper. Aiming low and away. That's a pretty good one, but it catches more of the plate than I wanted. Okay, what about going back to that curveball? There we go! Punches him out, and we strand Carroll at third base. That's another scoreless inning. Joey Bart stepping to the plate now, the next righty in the lineup against Corbin Burns. And Bart has had an interesting season. I don't think it's been very good. And so he's another one that we may have to make a decision on sooner than later. We've got Harry Ford, which at this point has been pretty much a 1-to-1 swap for him if we want to. I don't know why I swung at that. Again, sometimes talking and trying to play this game is a difficult process, but it's what I signed up for. We're down 0-2 now with Bart. That one's an easy take. That slider goes into a whole nother zip code. I think somebody in that other batting box would have still been in front of that ball. And that one is timed not well. I know that was late, for sure. Yeah, very late on the slider. All right, let's try this again. 1-2. Nope. Not going to get us on that cutter. We'll even the count.
2 strikes.
Burns has struck out 3 already. And that one we will stay alive with. Fouls away the cutter. We were late on the timing again. I know it. Yeah. Some of these swings are just, okay, we got to fight it off. If I can't time it right, I can at least time it to stay alive. And there's another example. Swinging late on that cutter. Just forcing a few more pitches. Luckily, the vision for Bart isn't terrible. It is low. And that one is a bloop. It goes to left. Will it drop down? Yes, he can't get it on the dive. There we go. All right, so Bart is going to have a hit to lead off the top of the third. Nice job. It's a really good at-bat for him. And now the last righty, number 9, it's Jared Triolo. Well, number 9 in the lineup. Not his actual player number. Curveball misses below the zone. It's pitch number 30 for Burns. Energy is still fine. Confidence is high. And we'll watch that cutter. That just didn't feel right. That wasn't the one to go after for me. 1-1. That one we timed too late. A sinker dead center of the zone, but at 97, that's a tough pitch to get a handle on. 1-2 now for Triolo. And that is a weak dribbler. They're going to try the double play. Does Triolo outrun it? No, he does not. The Diamondbacks turn 2. And that will turn our lineup over for the first time. And Arise steps back to the plate. And that one, we got good timing on the cutter center of the zone, but Arise only dribbles it over to second base, and that's the end of the inning. All right, Adrian Del Castillo now to the plate, the number 8 hitter for the Diamondbacks. I don't really know much about him, and his character model looks like really just a small guy. I don't know. Don't have any idea on the average, power. Got no idea what I'm working against here. But the job is still the same. Just try to pitch well, find our spots. Ooh, he holds back on that one. I don't know. That was a really weird twitch. I don't know about that. All right, fastball high and away. Perfectly placed at 102. There's not many guys that can get a handle on that. Let's go back to that curveball now. 2-2 on the outside edge. And that is hit to 2, Cruz, who's going to play at 27 speed from Castillo as he's thrown out at first. There we go. Good backup. Jake McCarthy in the 9 spot. Skeens so far has been working at a good pace. He's been locating well, and that's a ground out to Jared Triolo. 1 pitch, 1 out. Lineup turns back to Christian Yelich now. And that is very close, but not called. And he doesn't go after it. I want to aim a little bit more inside. Same pitch, though. And that one is given to Sidelinker, who's going to throw it to first, and that's a routine play. 3 strong innings for Paul Skeens. All right, so far so good. Both teams only with 2 hits allowed, but the Diamondbacks have stranded 2. And Reynolds back up. That one was really, really tempting to go after. We're early on it, so it's only a foul over into right. And that's another one. Similar to the broken bat that we had earlier, except it was a cutter that time. And now 0-2. Burns is being a little bit more aggressive than I remember him being against left-handed hitters, at least. Yeah, giving us a lot to work with right now. No, we're way early on that curveball. Not even close. Oof. All right. Jock Peterson steps back to the plate after that solo shot that he had in the first inning. The Diamondbacks fans booing him. And a circle change is swung and missed. Timing was early on that, but could have powered that one somewhere. 0-1. Okay, we defend the top of the zone against the cutter, but now we're down 0-2. That was good timing. Could have gone to right field. Come on, Jock. All right, we'll watch that circle change outside. We're not going to chase that, at least not right now. And that one is hit well, but unfortunately, they are there to play it, and that's out number 2. And now Sawinski. He finished the regular year with 33 home runs. Man, this guy was just awesome. Sawinski's the man. Oh, no, I barely tapped the button to try to hold back, but he went around on it. That cutter coming in is so quick. No, and we do it again. I hit the button just barely because it's coming in, and I'm like, and then I swear it's just a tap. But he's gone around on 2 of them inside. And that one we will fight off very late, as I was intentionally a little hesitant there. I don't want to hit that button just because it looks like it's coming near the strike zone. Still 0-2. No, we can't time that cutter, and it's another strikeout for Corbin Burns. Racking up the Ks here against us. And we'll try to do the same here with our ace, Paul Skeens. So far, it has been a pitcher's duel. Not much offense to speak of, and the power of Jock Peterson so far has been the only difference maker. And that one is lifted to left field for Brian Reynolds, and we are there in time. There we go. Guerrero Jr. back to the plate now. We'll begin here with a slider to change up the sequence. And that is called. Just barely catches enough of the outer edge. Let's do another thing trailing away. I'm going to do the sweeper this time, low and away. And at the bottom of the zone, that's called again. There we go. All right, now time for that curveball. I don't want this really near the center of the zone at all to give him a chance. It's 0-2. And that goes to center of the zone anyways, but luckily Guerrero grounds it to Triolo, and we've got out number 2. Ketel Marte now back to the plate. Try to tie him up inside and high. Yep, that's a good one, and it does exactly what I had hoped for. Sidelinker trailing into foul territory, and we've got out number 3, a very easy 4th inning for Skeens. The starter comparison looks pretty much identical, except Burns is getting a lot more strikeouts against us, but I will trade the solo shot for that. All right, 5, 6, 7 due up now. O'Neal Cruz here to begin the top of the 5th. And we'll watch that curveball miss. Cruz played through 145 games in the regular season. He was there nearly every day. Nope, Tried to hold back. Knew that was coming. I don't know what's going on, if my button is sticking or what. Just can't do it. Cannot check swings right now. Just means I need to be more selective about touching the button. I have like this instinct to tap that button if it looks like it's coming towards the strike zone, and I got to stop it. All right, I did fully commit to swinging at that one. Just couldn't get it. Timing says very late. I don't know. Felt only a little bit late, but it's 2-2. And we are very late on that one. The cutter gives Corbin Burns strikeout number 6. It's all right. Got to keep the emotions in check here. I'm not going to get frustrated. Just continue to play my game. Side linker now. And that one was hit, but fouled. Yeah, timing says very early. I think it was only slightly early. I disagree. Cannot get a piece of that slider. It's another really tough pitch. Timing was early again. He was the August Rookie of the Month, side linker. That's pretty cool. Down 0-2. And that one we do get a piece of. There we go. Side linker to the gap in left center field. And that will be a double with 1 out. Side linker with an extra base hit. And now Carter with the runner in scoring position has a chance here to add on with only 1 out. Let's go. Could not get the cutter. Very late on that. I know it. Yeah, just too late. Not even very late. Way too late. 0-1. Okay. Felt like the timing was good. Side linker fouls it away. Says very early. Nope, that's garbage. Timing was fine. It's 0-2. Whoa! Down in the dirt, nearly hitting Carter. And I'm not chancing it with 48 speed. Side linker's just not fast. 1-2 now. The energy level actually lower than I would expect for 57 pitches, so we might be seeing a pitching change here in the 6th or 7th inning. And Carter with a bloop. Is that? No, it's not going to land. That's just a routine fly out to center field. Runner does not advance. And we got one more shot. It's going to come down to Joey Bart, who has a single. He could do it again. Come on, Joey. We'll watch that one. I don't want to do anything with that. 0-1 now. And that one to third base. No, they are going to play it. And Bart's not nearly quick enough. We will strand our own base runner. Corbin Carroll now approaches the plate with MVP chance in the bottom of the 5th. You sure they're not chancing that for Paul Skeens? This is only pitch number 44 coming at you. And that one's hit into foul territory. 0-2 ahead of Carroll now. Go back to that curveball away. It's been a good one so far. That one just goes inside, which ties him up. He pops it to shallow left, just outside of the dirt at third base for side linker. Connor Norby now at the plate. I'll do that slider to begin to him as well. I like doing that against the same-sided matchups. And that's called for a strike. The umpire likes that pitch today. Very cool. Change directions here with the fastball inside. That just catches the center of the zone. Side linker can't grab it. He fumbles it, throws back to first, but it's not in time. Is that a hit or an error? It will be a base hit. No error attributed to side linker on that play. Let's get another quick view of it. And quick reaction, but yeah, it looks like it just hits the wrist instead of going into the glove. All right, so 1 out, 1 man on for Gurriel. Let's try to tie him up on the inside. Wow, that was just much lower than I wanted. Okay, let's try a sinker now. And that one gets him to go around. He fouls it away. And I want to go to the sweeper to try to punch him out, low and away. Under the zone, it goes to Triolo. We might be able to turn 2. There's 50 speed headed to first, and we've got him. There we go, a nice double play. And we come back now to Jared Triolo, who was a standout in that last moment. Double plays are one of the funnest things that we can do in this game. It's always nice when that works. I love how fluid it looks. Very smooth. 1-0 to begin. And that one we go after and only get a piece of the cutter. Timing says early. I think it was good. I don't know. I disagree sometimes with what they tell me here. And we'll watch that one away. We are now on fatigue watch for Corbin Burnes. He's just about to transfer into the yellow portion of that energy bar, but the confidence is very high, and really rightfully so. Only allowed 3 hits, 1 base runner that's been stranded, and 6 strikeouts. Here 2-1 behind Triolo. And that one we do get a piece of, but it's just a routine grounder to shortstop. Triolo's out to begin the top of the 6th. Lineup turns over again for Luis Arraez, and my frustration is mounting with him. He was not good at all in the postseason last year, and I really need to see something out of him. I am, full disclosure, considering a trade for Luis Arraez at first base. I'd like to get somebody that I can rely on, and it's not been him. He takes that one deep to right field. That was home run distance, but the timing, unfortunately, was just too early for it. 0-2 now. And contact is made. He goes over to first base, and Vladdy just runs it over, and Arraez is out once again. Ryan Reynolds now in the 2nd spot, comes up for his 3rd at-bat. And that one is only fouled away. We are now officially fatigued for Corbin Burnes. 68 pitches has done it. And that one was hit very well. It's going to left field. They're not going to be able to get it, and it bounces off the wall. I thought it might just barely clear it, but instead it's a 2-out double, and I'll take that also. Especially considering the man that's walking up to the plate right now. Here's the replay of the 1st inning, where it was going bad quickly, but Jock, with all his power, gives us the lead, and we have held it ever since. Can we do anything more? Wow, they're going to walk him. They walk Jock Peterson. Corbin Burnes says, I don't think so. Wow, that's hilarious. Okay, 2 men on and 2 out now for Jack Suwinski. Can we make them pay for that additional base runner? 69 pitches for Corbin Burnes. Suwinski, yes, it will go through. We're going to send Reynolds home. 66 speed is enough to do it. And Suwinski with an RBI single has added another all-important insurance run. And that's going to do it for Arizona. They're pulling Corbin Burnes and putting in Jose Suarez, who throughout the regular season was abysmal. 82 innings with a 7.13 ERA. My gosh. All right. It is a lefty on the mound now, though, as they try this matchup against O'Neal Cruz. Confidence is not very high. The energy is already a little bit depleted, so he was used very recently. 2 on, 2 out. Lefty-lefty matchup here for O'Neal Cruz. And we get that one. Yes, it goes through into center field. I don't think the Jock is fast enough. 28 speed. I don't think it's going to do it. I have to hold him. I have to hold him, and that might come back to bite me, but I really think he would have gotten thrown out at home plate right there. I love that Cruz came through with a clutch hit, but just not enough speed. All right, that sets us up for a righty-lefty matchup for Steve Seidlinker, though, and this I do like the idea of. Come on, Steve. This would be a huge, legendary moment if you could come through big. Under the zone, gets us to swing over top. Seidlinker down 0-1. And that one is hit, and no, it is unfortunately just a long fly out to center field. We strand, the bases loaded, but we were able to cash in for 1 thanks to Jack. All right, our starter remains strong at only 50 pitches through 5 innings so far. He has been awesome. We've got a 2-run lead, and we'll see how far Skeens will go. 8, 9, and 1 due up right now. That's a swing-ish. He kind of checked it, but it's in the zone anyways. All right, what about a sinker low and away? Just goes low. It's fouled away, but that gives us strike number 2. I will take that. I want to do a fastball, and I'm not intending for this to be a strike. I just want him to chase it high and outside. Yep, exactly as we drew it up. There we go, a strikeout for Skeens. Jake McCarthy now up to the plate. Let's start him low and away with the fastball. That just goes center of the zone. Arraez on the slide is able to grab it, and it's a foot race, and we've got him. There we go. I thought maybe I might have paid for that if Skeens was going to be there and Arise was slow, but no harm, no foul. Great defensive play by Arise. All right, lineup turns over now for Christian Yelich. Let's try a sinker inside. Yeah, that is perfect. What a beautiful pitch.
0-1's the count.
All right, we'll go fastball low and away this time. That catches center of the zone, and Arise is able to spear it right out of the air. There we go. What an inning for him. And another quick one for Paul Skeens. Evan Carter steps to the plate. Suarez remains in the game. Only 3 pitches to get out of the bottom of the top of the 7th. No, top of the 6th, excuse me. And that's a ball, not called for a strike at the top of the zone. And that one gets in there. I just didn't want to swing at that. I didn't want to offer high and tight with that fastball. 1-1 now. And that one I will, but no, Carter is underneath it. It's a high pop-up in foul territory, just to the left of third base, and that's a leadoff out. Joey Bart now comes back around. He's 1 for 2. Righty-lefty matchup, which you know I enjoy. It's been a while since we've seen some big moments out of Joey Bart offensively. Last year he had plenty of highlights and coming through in clutch situations. His performance throughout the regular year was not stellar, but we at least had those moments to strengthen, the enjoyment of having Joey Bart. This year, it's been a lot less of that. Down 0-2 now as we watch strike 2. And that one, we're defending the zone. That slider would have been a ball anyways, but it looked really dangerous coming in. And that one above the zone gets us to go after it. He baits us well. Suarez with a strikeout. And now Triolo, who was absolutely solid throughout the regular season. He averaged, I think it was 259. So really enjoyed having Triolo have a good offensive year. That goes to right field, and it is brought down for out number 3. It's a good inning for Suarez. All right, now at this point in the game, we're in the 7th inning. I don't have any worries about how Skeens is performing, but I do want to warm somebody up just in case. I am going to be warming up Carmen Mlodzinski. He was incredible throughout the regular season, so if we need anybody, I'd like to have him primed and ready to go. Hunter Harvey is going to be the other guy. 2 righties as well. We're going to keep the same side for the pitching here. And hopefully that doesn't come back to bite us, as we don't have any left-handed guys in the bullpen. So, yeah, we're really, really forced to commit to throw from the right side here. But for now, bottom of the 7th, Paul Skeens has only had to throw 56 pitches. He hasn't really had a challenging inning per se, as the Diamondbacks have not been able to figure anything out against him offensively. And the first pitch will result in an out as well. A line out to Brian Reynolds in left. Vladimir Guerrero now will begin again with that slider, trailing low and away. That's been a good way to start against righties so far. And it's another perfectly placed one. I mean, that is just the Mona Lisa of pitches. It's incredible. Let's try a sweeper, aiming in the same spot now. No chase there, as that catches way too much air and just goes up. Okay, let's change the speeds now. Location's the same, but a fastball coming in, and Vladdy just barely mistimes it. That would have poked over the wall. All right, time for that curveball. Aiming away, 1-2 against Guerrero. Whoa, it's a wild pitch. That's not going to do it. All right, let's go fastball low and inside. We get him at 1-2. He swings over it in the center of the zone. Awesome job. And Ketel Marte now up to the plate. We'll try to challenge and tie him up high and inside. And that's center of the zone, lifted high into the left for Brian Reynolds. He goes to the warning track, posts up, and we've got another very quick inning for Paul Skeens. 7 complete with no earned runs. And a pitching change here for the Diamondbacks. They're on their 3rd pitcher now. It is Bryce Jarvis, and he had a good year, over 59 innings, a 3.19 ERA. He goes back to the right side, though, as the lineup turns over for Luis Arise. I got to question that decision. I imagine if they had another lefty, they'd probably put him in right here, because throughout the next 2 innings, even if they get all 6 outs, that's still, I think, all lefties. So I don't know. We'll see if this works out for him. He throws 5 pitches, though. Energy is fully there. Confidence is pretty high to start. 4-seamer, slider, sinker, circle change, cutter. Most of that's going to come inside. And a rise. Catches a piece of the 96 fastball. And timing was good there. Vision allowed him to get a piece of it at least. And we'll watch that one. 95 outside. Count evens at 1-1. So we've only got a few more outs to get in order to win this game, and it's still 2-0. That's ball 2. Not chasing those are easy takes. That one I will go after. It was going to catch the corner, I believe. Yeah, I think that would have been called for a strike. Counts even at 2-2. And that one we probably should have let go. It's just a swinging bunt, essentially, and Arise is thrown out at first. Ryan Reynolds now flipping back over to the other side. 1 for 3 today. And that one is perfectly timed, but no, it goes directly to shortstop. Man, it's so frustrating when those perfect hits just end up in an out. I mean, what else do you want? I know that's baseball, but man, it's frustrating. All right, Big Jock Peterson here with another chance. And that one is contact lifted foul. Timing was good. I think a little bit late, though. 0-1. Wow, that's a really, really confident choice. It's lifted high. Will it continue to go out? Yes, that is foul right into the dugout. Glad he can't spear it, and it's now 0-2 against Peterson. And that one is fouled away to stay alive. So far against the Diamondbacks, offense has been there. Pitching has been on lockdown with Skeens. And no, we swing over the slider, and that'll end the top of the 8th. All right, 5, 6, and 7 due up. Paul Skeens now still only at 63 pitches, not yet fatigued, as we are nearing complete game status. It's the bottom of the 8th. Corbin Carroll up to the plate, and that's a 100-mile-an-hour perfect strike. Let's try elevating that just a little bit now. Swinging, it goes inside instead. All right, curveball on the outside edge. Can we get him to go around? No, he does not chase. All right, what about a slider low and away? Can we backdoor him? Oh, it's so close, but Carroll does not go around. Okay, sinker trailing away. It's the last throwaway pitch we have, and it now evens up the count. 3-2. Gonna aim a little bit low. And that's a 103-mile-an-hour fastball, high and away. Not where I wanted, but that's strikeout number 5, so I will take that trade-off. Carroll swinging and missing for a big strikeout. All right, Connor Norby now at the plate. 5 more outs to go for Skeens. Does not get the call inside at 101. All right, let's go sinker again. That one is 93 for strike 2. No, strike 1, excuse me. The count is 1-1. Swings against that fastball that's high and outside at 101. MVP chance for Connor Norby. Wow. He doesn't go after the slider. What about a sweeper? Count evens at 2-2. Oh, yeah. How's your MVP doing now? That was ugly. I shouldn't talk like that. I've struck out plenty of times. I shouldn't talk like that. All right. Gurriel Jr. is back to the plate. 2 down in the bottom of the 8th. It's been another quick inning so far. Skeens does not get the call. Come on, man. We got to start getting those. If you're going to give me the slider low and away, you got to give me the fastball. 102. Gurriel is frozen in place and watches it. Let's try going low and inside with the fastball. Just goes inside, but it's fouled away. 1-2. You know I'm going to come back to that curveball now. Paul Skeens is now showing fatigue. He's got yellow on the energy bar. And that curveball's lifted high from Gurriel, but luckily it's timed off, and it's foul. All right. Sweeper. Low and away. Come on. That's just hit to Triolo, but I will take it. There's only 3 outs left to go, and we could possibly win game 1 here in very short order. And the 4th Diamondback to take the mound today, Dre Jameson. For 111 innings pitched, it was challenging for him this year as he's got a 5 ERA and a 1.53 whip. Sawinski steps to the plate. 4, 5, and 6 as our final batters here in the top of the 9th. And that one we are late on, a 4-seamer at the top of the zone. Caught plenty of air, and if we would have timed it, that could have done some damage. Instead, it's 0-1. And that slider goes down into the dirt. And that slurve, actually. Wow, that had a lot of motion. They're warming up Buehler and Castillo. They're in the pen. They're in the pen. I said thar. Ha! It's funny. 2-1 here to Sawinski. And we foul away that sinker. Timing was good, apparently. 2-2. And we've got to defend the zone. Sawinski stays alive. All right, that's a waste pitch, and the count goes full. 3-2. It's been a good at-bat from Sawinski. And that one is lifted. No, it is foul down the third base line. Just late on that timing. And we'll do the full count again. Okay, got to defend the top portion of the zone. Sawinski pushing another pitch in this at-bat. That's 8 so far. And that's a center of the zone challenge. Jameson might be getting sick of Sawinski. And we foul that one again. Pitch number 9. Here comes 10. And that one is lifted to right field. Sawinski, no, we don't get it to find purchase. They run it down. All right, now Cruz steps back in after a long first at-bat. Jameson now here with 1 out. Wow, he gives it Cruz right in the center of the zone. We time it well, but he's on top of it. And then let's see ground out on the first pitch. Complete opposite ends of the spectrum as far as the at-bats go. And Sidelinker will get the final at-bat here for us. And we'll watch that fastball inside. Overall, I don't think we've done terrible at the plate in this game. Corbin Burns obviously got the better of us with all the strikeouts, but he's also a Cy Young winner, ace caliber pitcher. I mean, what do you expect from that guy? Sidelinker, no, he pops it up, and they will track it down. Yes, in front of the dugout. It's the final inning now. I am going to try to leave Paul Skeens in this game and see if he can close it down. He's only thrown 79 pitches. I know the energy shows fatigue right now, but it's 8, 9, and 1. It's not the most dangerous part of the lineup, and I'd like to see a complete game. That would be awesome. 0-1. We get strike 1 ahead of Castillo. Now the sinker. Wow, he watches that one. That was a dangerous pitch. All right, 0-2 with a curveball aiming outside. That's a really good one. It's fouled away by Castillo to stay alive, but that's a great pitch. All right, what about a fastball low and away? We get him called for strike 3 at the bottom of the zone, and he nods. He knows it. Skeens with strikeout number 7. Only 2 outs left to go, and it's Jake McCarthy now. We'll aim low and inside. Fastball. Wow, we've been getting that call all night, but not right there at 99. All right, what about a sinker inside? That's at the bottom of the zone, fouled away, evens it up at 1-1. Let's try to aim high and inside. And that to Sidelinker. No, he can't get it. He recovers, but 99 speed's absolutely enough to get him there. And that is a 1-out base runner now. Scored as a base hit again. Still no error for Sidelinker. And the lineup turns over for Christian Yelich. This is a real tough moment to make a decision. I think I am going to try to trust in Skeens. If the situation was in real life, I think that he would try to do it. and I'm going to try to give it to him. That is lifted. A bloop that goes to shallow left field, and Reynolds plays it. 2 men on, 1 out. Paul Skeens still in the game. Perdomo now at the plate. The pitcher is getting tired. I don't know, man. I don't know. This is really shaky. Paul Skeens has a 95 pitch clutch rating. I think that would match up with just about anybody else that we've got in the bullpen. I know he's tired, but with that clutch, the velo, the break, the hits per 9, I mean, everything is pretty much supercharged. This is the guy. He's 98 overall. If there's anybody that could possibly do this situation, it's him. And I think that I'm going to try to not repeat mistakes from last year. I'm going to try to trust in Paul Skeens. He's thrown 87 pitches, well within the wheelhouse for what he would normally throw. Let's begin. Strike 1, 98. Joey Barton letting him know how good of a pitch that was. We need to try to get a double play ball, so I am going to be trying to keep that ball low, aiming low and away. Misses just under the zone for ball 1, excuse me. Pretty much the same pitch, though. And that to Cruz. Could this be it? We go to second. 57 speed going to first. A double play. Skeens has done it. The Pirates win. Raise the Jolly Roger. Let's go. We've got our first postseason win of the year. That is an awesome and incredible game performance by Paul Skeens. The offense got it done. The pitching was immaculate. No earned runs. A complete game shutout for Skeens. That's how the ace does it. All right, it was a fantastic game 1, and that's where we end the episode today. Next up, the matchup is set for Jared Jones versus Ryan Nelson. Thank you guys so much for watching. Happy to start this one with a win in the postseason, and we only need one more to do it to advance. Let's go, guys.